Welcome into your post-game Chiefs report here for Sports Radio 810, brought to you by the Midwest Ford dealers, buyfordnow.com. Sorry, Desmond's with me here for post-game as we get you, talking about what the Chiefs are doing. They're now 8-1, and they continue to absolutely roll teams defensively, despite the fact maybe you thought coming into the game they were going to do. Now, Cleveland was allowing maybe the 10th most points per game going into the season, but still, they had been so much better than that. They had been getting turnovers left and right. They'd been kind of cruising along, and yet here we are. The Chiefs on historic offensive pace, especially for them. I'll take your thoughts here. I've got some Facebook comments up here as well, so I'll take a look at them. But Patrick Mahomes now pacing this season for 5,557 yards. That would be the seventh best single season in the history of the NFL. Seventh best single season in the history of the NFL. He's pacing for 52 touchdowns. That would be the second best single season of all time. 52 touchdowns, second best. Only second to the NFL record 55 by Peyton Manning. He's pacing for 67% completion percentage, 9.15 yards per attempt, which would be a Chiefs record. He's only one touchdown off the single season franchise record for the Chiefs, which presumably he'll break next week. That's not the only record he's pacing for. He now has his 8th consecutive 300-yard game. That means one more 300-yard game, and he will tie the NFL record for consecutive 300-yard games, that held by one Drew Brees. So, I want you to factor in all of those things, and then realize that when you came out of that game today for the Chiefs, it kind of felt like maybe they should have won by more. You hate to get, picky about stuff like that, right? Oh no, I feel like they should have played better than they did. But they kind of should have played better than they did, right? I mean, that's just the simple reality. It felt like refs took a couple of things away from them there late in that first half. Seemed like the penalties really piled up. Coming into the week, they were the second most penalized team in the NFL. Coming out of this week, they're likely to be the most penalized team in the NFL through 9 weeks. So that's something, and Andy will, he'll give the same thing, right? Oh, that's something we got to clean up. That's something we got to work on. Those are the things Andy says a lot around those things, but it really is something that is in their control, right? That's something that they actually can reasonably fix, in my opinion. Some of those penalties, 2 last week for Chris Conley on false starts, some of the Ron Parker penalty today on the late hit on Baker Mayfield, all of those things feel like they can be inherently controlled a little bit by the Chiefs. So those are some of the things you look to improve on, and I know you walk out of there and you're like, boy, the defense didn't play well. Well, one way or the other, they held this team to 21 points. In their last 5 games, they're allowing 22.1 points per game. That'd be good for 11th in the NFL. And with this offense, 11th in the NFL is plenty good enough. Now, before you think I'm just nitpicking and sugarcoating where their points per game land, that includes a 43-point drubbing of the defense by the Patriots. That's still down to 22.1. Only 14 against the Jaguars, just 10 against the Bengals, just 21 this week against the Browns, who do have some weapons that tend to hurt the Chiefs, including really good running backs out of the backfield. We saw that out of Duke Johnson today. But it was a lot of the same players, Kareem Hunt and Travis Kelce, both heading back to Cleveland, back to Ohio. They get 5 touchdowns combined today. Kareem Hunt, 17 carries, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. Phenomenal. Patrick Mahomes, 375 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's a career high, by the way. Yeah, sure, 1 pick at the end of the half that didn't matter. Kelce, 7 catches, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hill and Watkins were both in and out of the game a little bit with injuries, and that was no concern. They'll take on an absolutely miserably bad Cardinals team next week, which I don't expect to be a challenge, which means I think they're going on to play the Rams with 1 loss. And now the Rams have a chance to lose today. There's no question about that. I mean, if you look at what they've been able to do, it's incredible. The Chiefs are really on a run right now, and a part of their schedule to really favor them. Still have the Cardinals once, still have the Raiders twice. It'd be a real disappointment at this point. This team didn't finish with 13 or 14 wins, and I think 14 is the number they're going to have to get to if they want to get the bye. Now, they got I know Andy will say that same thing, right? We got plenty of things to clean up. That's true. There were a lot of little mistakes here and there. Demetrius Harris drop, and Patrick Mahomes made a bad decision late that they could have gotten the field goal instead of the 16-point game. It could have just been 19 into bed and took a bad sack. So there are a few things to work on. But in the end, they won 37-21. It felt like they should have won by... They won by 16. Felt like it should have been by 25 or 30. So you walk out feeling, but that's the point the Chiefs are now. That coupled with the historic pace Patrick Mahomes is on, it really is incredible. We'll get you more videos, more stuff all week long, exclusive stuff, including Andy Reid tomorrow at noon. You can only get that on Facebook Live here on Sports Radio 810. So check it out tomorrow. Check out our videos all week long. I send out stuff from Hill and Watkins and all those guys. We'll talk to those guys after the games in the locker room as well, and we'll post it here as well. This post-game report brought to you by the Midwest Ford dealers. Go to buyfordnow.com for more information. Thanks here for joining us as the Chiefs are victorious 37-21.